Yo, what's up everybody? Jumpin here, and I'm going to be bringing you a gameplay for Mass Effect 3 using the Executioner Pistol. This is a new DLC weapon from Reckoning DLC, and it's definitely a little unique. It's a pistol, it only has one shot, so that is kind of strange. Right away when you first get your hands on this gun, it's going to look exactly like a Talon pistol, so you might think that this gun is going to be a lot like a Talon. But that is not the case. It is not like a Talon at all. It is, in so many words, pretty much a sniper rifle, and you can treat it like that. It has a really good range on it. So if you want to shoot enemies from really far away, and that's one thing I kind of recommend. Like when I first started playing with this gun, I can honestly say I tried my ass off to run point blank range and treat it like a claymore. Because of the whole one bullet thing, you start to think that, well, if it's not a Talon, then maybe it's like a claymore. It gets bonus damage up close or something. It does not. So the real best way to honestly treat this gun is like a sniper rifle, almost like a Widow or a Javelin. Now, the attachments I'm going to be using on it is just going to be the piercing and I believe the heavy barrel, the one that gives you 40% more damage. So those are my two attachments I'm using on this gun for this gameplay. I'm using like pistol rail lamp 3 and phasic rounds. Phasic rounds, phasic rounds, phasic rounds. Very important. If you're going to treat it like a Javelin or a Widow, you definitely want it with phasic rounds. Without phasic rounds, this gun is total ass. It's a lot better if you use the phasic rounds. But without it, believe me, I've tried it with Armor Piercing 4 against Reapers and against Armor. It just does not kill normal enemies at all. What I mean is this. If an enemy has a shield because of the shield gating, like a Marauder or something, you'll shoot him and he'll just lose his shields. He won't take any health damage. So that pretty much forces you to shoot him twice. You have to shoot that enemy twice. And because it only has one bullet, that means you're going to have to reload. It can be a nightmare. The best way to really play with this guy is to, I personally think, use something that has energy drain, overload. Infiltrators are always good, like Salarian here, because he gets so much bonus damage. You want to be able to hopefully take down the shields of the enemies fully. Because if you can take down them shields, then you're able to actually shoot them like one shot and kill them. If they're down literally just to health, you'll be able to normally one-shot kill them, as long as you don't miss. This gun hitboxes, it's kind of bad, honestly. It could be pretty insane at times. It took me a long time to realize that it didn't even have a circle box. I thought it was going to be like a Talon. I mean, it took me a long time to realize it had a reticle. It has like the normal reticle. And the spread of the bullets and everything you can imagine like that, although you can shoot it from an extremely far distance and hit enemies, I mean you can shoot across the biggest map and kill an enemy one shot. It happens all the time. Although that can happen, sometimes you'll aim right at the enemy, and you'll see it in this gameplay a couple times. I'll aim directly at the enemy, and I won't hit him. And if that happens to you, oh buddy, it will piss you off. This is a gun that I can honestly say every time I tried to play with this gun, it would piss me off. It was crazy. Like, at the end of the day, I walked away from like playing with it and saying, oh, I guess it's okay. Like, because I would normally do pretty well with it, but at the same time, like every game, it was just me getting angry because I was missing shots that I personally felt like I should not have been missing, and a lot of little things like that. So that's one thing you have to look out for. Now, one thing I should definitely mention right away is try this gun on the Destroyer. I promise you it's pretty cool. The reason why is because one thing I always wanted to do with the Destroyer was to put a Claymore on him and give it 2 shots somehow. It's impossible. If a gun has one bullet, unless you can double that or get 100% bonus clip size, you have to get 100%. With the Destroyer, it was never possible for something like the Claymore or the Javelin or Widow, anything like that. You can never double that clip size to get the 2 bullets. But with this gun, you can, because pistols get extended magazines. That means that if you put extended mags on this gun, that's 80% bonus capacity. With a destroyer, I think like by default you get 20%. So you get the 100%, meaning that you can have the 2 bullets. That is something you can definitely try. I know that the destroyer, apparently, according to I think the BioWare themselves, they did like they released like all these statistics that came out, like what was the most popular weapon, what was the most popular character for the entire year, and the destroyer was #1. Now a lot of that could have come from rocket glitching for sure, because the destroyer was great if you were a rocket glitcher, because he couldn't be staggered or anything like that, and he had a lot of shields. But the destroyer is just popular in general. I know because if I ever play with randoms, which I do play with randoms now, if you know me, you might remember my commentaries from the past where it's like, well, I'm lucky and I never have to play with randoms. I would always say that, which was always true, but now when I play, I just don't care. Like, if I need a person and I don't feel like waiting for someone to join, I'll just open it up and get a random, and I've been having fun doing that. So, like, that's just what I've been doing as of late, and what I've noticed is that it seems like randoms really do like the destroyer. A lot of people love that guy. So if you're one of these people that you really love the destroyer, or he's your favorite character in the game, try this pistol out. Instead of maybe using a shotgun as a secondary for your close range pull out to take out a boss quick, try using the Executioner pistol with extended mags and maybe some type of barrel. I don't really know. And believe me, it's pretty dope. But let's get back to this gun in general. Alright, so this gun, like I said, it's a lot like a Talon. It's a little bit like well, it's actually nothing like the Talon, and it's nothing like the Claymore. But it does remind you of them. Appearance-wise, it definitely looks like the Talon. And with the whole 1 bullet thing, that reminds you of a Claymore. But it's not. And yeah, it definitely does piss you off. I mean, it just is what's going to happen. If you try to play with this gun, right there, good example. You aim directly at the enemies. And sometimes you'll fire and you get nothing. It can be a nightmare. I've literally had games where I've tried to use this gun against Reapers, and I have like point blank shot a cannibal, just a cannibal, and they walk away with half health, like they didn't die 1 shot. I'm like, what the hell? How did that happen? And it can get you killed, believe me. I mean, obviously, like if you can't finish an enemy in 1 shot and you have to sit there and reload, there's a good chance that maybe you might die in that process. So, overall, I hate to do this early on in like commentary about a gun, but I really don't like this gun. Like, I really don't. I really couldn't recommend using this over other things that are similar. Like, for example, if I was to play this game with the same build, which is my Solarian Infiltrator shotgun build, basically. This is like my Claymore build. If I was to play this with my Claymore, I would have performed literally like 3 times as well. Like, at least I feel like I would have performed so much better with the Claymore than I did with this gun. I love this build and I love the Claymore. But with this gun, I mean, I did okay, I thought. I thought this was pretty decent gameplay. I just felt that if I would have had the Claymore, or even the Talon, I would have done a lot better. If you're talking about maybe something for powers, well, if you have the Talon, I can't really recommend this gun. The Talon is a lot better for a handgun that works a lot alike. I mean, okay, this gun does more damage than the Talon. There's no question about that. But the Talon has 4 bullets in it. And the Talon actually shoots like relatively quickly. It doesn't like shoot super slow. So because of that, honestly, like what this gun can do in 1 shot, the Talon can probably do in 2 shots. But the difference is that the Talon has 2 extra shots at the end of the day. And you don't need phasic rounds. Talon gets 150% bonus damage to shields. So you shoot an enemy with full shields and you'll probably take down all his shields in 1 shot from almost any range. That's the truth about the Talon. That's a great thing about it. You take them shields down and then you shoot them again and they'll probably die. So the Talon is such a great gun. And this gun, well, it isn't up to par. Another really bad thing about this gun I hate is the fucking recoil is absolutely crazy. I guess it's meant to be like this super hand cannon so that when you actually shoot the gun, it's going to like create this recoil that will put your reticle all the way at the ceiling. But if you pay close attention, every time I shoot this gun in this gameplay, my reticle is going to jump so high in the air. I mean, it just jumps up like ridiculous. And that's basically how this gun works in a nutshell, is that you will miss a lot of shots. That's like my point here, is that the reticle, or the jumping of the reticle, can cause you to miss shots. And you have to treat this gun like every shot is the most important thing in the history of shooting. Like, no joke. Because if you miss, you really feel like you're going to die, or something bad's going to happen. And it's going to make you rage and never want to play with the gun again. At least that's how I always felt. Every time I played this gun, I mean, I would eventually like get pissed, because like I would have good accuracy for the most part, and then I would just start missing shots. And or there was like that one enemy where I sat there and I shot him like 5 times, and every time I shot him I was missing. I was like, oh my god, die, die, die! And he wouldn't die, and maybe because it was Marauder or something, he would just mow me down instantly and I would die. That's very frustrating when that happens, because Marauders, are like what I call them, murderers, are very annoying enemies. So that's something. Another thing too that can happen is that maybe you'll miss the first 3 shots and then you'll hit that 4th shot, but then you don't kill in one hit. You take him down, like you take down his shield, and then he kills you. He still kills you. It's kind of insane, but that's the worst thing about this gun, is that the accuracy on it is pretty god awful. You have to really get used to it. I'm not saying it's not usable, because you can easily get used to it. I've gotten used to it, so that means anybody can. Just gotta play with it and kind of understand it a little bit more. Another really bad thing though is, guess what? What can happen? What can happen to you is that if you play with anyone who will shake your screen, and God, there's a lot of classes in this game that will shake the crap out of your screen. Any class, like a human vanguard or something, I don't know, or any vanguard for real, if it shakes your screen, it's going to make using this gun a lot harder. That is for sure. Believe me. I can honestly say I have never been mad at someone shaking my screen when I'm trying to use a gun until I started playing with this one. I had a game with a human vanguard that he just kept shaking my screen and I just kept missing. It was so annoying. And on top of that, I'm trying to play this gun, or at least I was playing this gun like a Claymore, where I kind of quickly aim at the enemy, which isn't the best thing to do, honestly, because a lot of times that will cause me to miss as well. But if I wanted to actually just sit there and precisely aim at the enemy, treat it like a sniper rifle from range and all that, you can sit there and just kind of like, you know, line up your shot and take it. Go for it. But guess what? If you're playing with someone who's shaking your screen non-stop, he's going to shake your screen and you're going to miss because of that. It is very frustrating. So there's a lot of things about this gun I just really don't like, and I can't really sit here and recommend to you. Alright, so let me get off the gun for just a little bit. I wanted to talk about something else. So there was a couple other things I wanted to say. So this is the Executioner pistol. In a nutshell, like I said, I don't really like it much. It's hard for me to recommend it because I think that there is better choices out there. There's a lot better pistols. You can just use a Claymore. You can use a sniper if you want. Like, it doesn't really matter. You can use a lot of different guns. If you want to try this on the Destroyer, go for it. Believe me, the Destroyer is something interesting because you get 2 shots, and 2 shots is all you need to ever really kill any normal enemy. Plus, it does a lot of damage, so you can potentially take out bosses quickly with a setup like that. So definitely try that out, especially if you like Destroyer. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is, alright, so I got a couple gameplays. I don't know if I want to actually like commentate them or show them. I have one which is a platinum gameplay on Reactor of me using the Quarian Male Engineer, and it is a ridiculous amount of just tech explosions. Tech explosions, tech explosions, tech explosions. A ton of them. Cryo, fire, tech, everything you can imagine. So that's pretty cool. I'm thinking about like commentating that, putting that out there. There wouldn't really be no purpose behind it. It'd be more or less to say, hey, the Quarian Male Engineer is amazing still, guys. Check it out. I mean, I'm not saying he's underused, but I haven't really seen him much. Or it seems like most people get like, they start to use like certain people and they kind of forget about some of the really good old ones. Because Quarry Mail Engineer is still one of the best engineers. I would give it to the Talon right this second because he's so amazing. But Quarry Mail, I mean, he's like the OG of engineers of like grenades and just amazingness. So I had that gameplay, platinum gameplay with him, doing a ton of tech explosions. I think more likely I will cast that, or I will commentate that and put that out there. Another one is I do have a Talon Mercenary platinum gameplay, which was pretty decent because I only died once in the gameplay. I died one time, which I was so happy because that's the one thing about the Talon that most people are acting like maybe he's not going to be that viable for platinum because he's so damn flimsy. But that doesn't really matter. As long as you play him right and you don't just go charging in a room by yourself, I think you'll have some success with him. So I have a Talon Mercenary platinum gameplay. I was thinking about maybe bringing that out as well. I don't really know. But that's about it. So let me know, do you want to see something like that? More likely the Quarian, I know for sure I kind of want to bring out because it was a pretty good gameplay. But the Talon Mercenary gameplay, I can honestly say, I will say one thing. The Quarian gameplay is a good gameplay, but in that gameplay I was playing with two guys. One of the guys is my buddy Stick, who's in this gameplay, and he knows what he's doing. But the other two guys, I can honestly say, they weren't that experienced. They even told me that. They said that they have never played Platinum outside of a box, if you know what that means. So, in that gameplay, a lot of it was me kind of like coaching them, telling them like how to play without needing to sit in a box the entire time. So, it was more or less like me teaching these guys how to play Platinum. And that was the only thing about the Quarian gameplay that was like whatever, was the fact that these guys were kind of what I call puppy dogging it. Like they were just literally holding my hand, like just following me around. But it was whatever. I mean, it was a really good gameplay at the end of the day. So, the Talon Mercenary gameplay, that gameplay, is pretty mediocre. I didn't really like it. Although I only died like once, like I didn't really think I did all that well. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll redo the Talon gameplay, because believe me, the Talon Merc, at least to me, he's so easy to use on Platinum. He makes Platinum like super easy. That is something I'm willing to do. Alright, so let me go ahead and wrap this up with this whole Executioner pistol. Like I was saying, overall, the gun is to me. It's my opinion, but I don't really like it all that much. I think that it has potential if they would maybe buff it a little bit. Even if they would give it the Talon bonuses, just the shield bonuses. Because believe me, without phasic rounds, this gun is just god-awful. That's so true. Without phasic rounds, this gun is really, really bad. And it's really not that great with phasic rounds. So, the best thing in general for them to do is to give it some type of bonus like the Talon. Just give it some type of shield bonus so that you can potentially pull off some one-shot kills on the weaker enemies. That would be really nice. That would be really awesome. But because it doesn't get any type of bonus damage, I personally do not like this gun, and I would not recommend it. I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. There's some good things it can do, but it just does not one-shot enemies. And guns that have one bullet in the clip should consistently one-shot enemies. If it would have had some type of bonus damage, if you were able to get like some type of close range damage bonus like you would with a Claymore, then I would definitely say this gun would be a lot better. Even if it would have had the Talon's bonus damage to shields, it would have been a lot better, honestly. And I understand it's meant to be somewhat of a hybrid between the Talon and the Claymore, but to me it kind of just boils down to a bust. I can't really recommend this gun. If you want to try it on the Destroyer, go for it. That is a very interesting thing you can do. Most people use shotguns like the Raider, Piranha, so instead of using one of those guns, try the Executioner pistol and see how you can perform with it. it definitely would be good to be able to pull this out in a pinch and get off 2 shots very quickly to kill big enemies. So something you can try. But besides all that, guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this. Please like this video for me, favorite it, and you guys have a nice day. Peace out.